Hey friends, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be going through some questions I've been asked on my recent acid reflux videos. And before we start, I just want to let you know, if you didn't already know, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a registered dietitian yet. I am finishing my master's degree, so in about a year I'll be a registered dietitian. When I do become a registered dietitian, I really hope to specialize in acid reflux and IBS, so stay tuned for that. But if you're new to my channel, like I said, I study nutritional science. I'm finishing my master's degree in dietetics at BU, and I went to BU undergrad for my undergrad degree in dietetics. So I'm on the path to become a registered dietitian, and I started this YouTube channel to share science-backed nutrition information as well as my own experience with acid reflux, with IBS. So everything to do with acid reflux is just my own experience, what has really helped me heal personally. I also share yoga classes, recipes, so if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe down below. Hit the notification bell so you get notified for all my future videos. Alright, now that that's over with, let's dive in. So just in general, a really common question that I get to do with the acid reflux herbs that I take, and by the way, if you're not familiar with the herbs that I take, I have lots of videos on how I weaned off of PPIs and how I use herbs to manage my acid reflux. Currently, I only have symptoms if I eat my trigger foods, which is large amounts of chocolate, more than 2 glasses of wine, and my symptoms have really come such a long way that they're sometimes not even noticeable. I think that I'm just very aware of my body at this point, so I have very, very minimal symptoms when I do kind of indulge in those things. But a common question that I get is, do the herbs really help you heal, or do they just mitigate the symptoms? And the answer is, I honestly don't know. But I took the herbs for a really long time, and I have a previous video about like exactly how I did that, and I eventually stopped taking the herbs and I wasn't having symptoms. So I do think that they helped me personally heal, but everyone is different. Everyone's journey is so different. But for me personally, I do think that they helped me heal. Another common question that I get is, what type of acid reflux was I diagnosed with? Like, was it a hiatal hernia, or a lower esophageal sphincter issue, or laryngeal silent reflux? I was diagnosed with GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, and basically that's just reoccurring acid reflux more than 2 times a week. I don't know the root cause of my acid reflux for sure, but I think that my root causes were not eating enough, which slows your gastric motility, and you can have slowed gastric emptying, which then can cause acid reflux. So definitely not eating enough back in the day in undergrad when this started. Stress can also slow down your digestion and cause GI symptoms. I think that I probably had low stomach acid because of the stress, but I don't know for a fact. If you're curious about high versus low stomach acid, I have a good interview on my page. I'll link it up here. So I get a lot of questions also about hydrochloric acid or Pepsin. I have never used hydrochloric acid or Pepsin. I've never used butane HCl, none of those supplements. But with that said, I know some registered dietitians who specialize in gut health and really utilize those. But it's really important to work with someone one-on-one, and work with someone who's familiar with acid reflux and is going to really help you find the root cause, because I wouldn't recommend using those supplements without guidance. Okay, so I had a recent video, actually my last video, that was just a vlog kind of taking you through my daily life, taking you through a few meals I made. And I got some comments that people were not frustrated, but they were like, how do you eat this fruit? Like, it's so acidic, these raspberries and kiwis in your video, how are you eating them? And super important things to consider here. Number one, my videos are just showing you what works for me. I'm not prescribing a diet. I'm not telling people what to eat. I was just taking you through my day. The video nowhere said acid reflux friendly meals. Also, kiwis and raspberries can be very acid reflux friendly for some people. When I was struggling with acid reflux, I could eat fruit, no problem. Fruit was not a problem for me. A lot of people kind of think that if they had a symptom after eating that food, it's that food. But it's not always the case. So yes, certain foods are triggers, like tomato sauce can be a really big trigger, wine, chocolate, alcohol, carbonated drinks, caffeine. If you notice repeated symptoms, repetitive symptoms after having these foods, that could certainly be a trigger for you. But if you have symptoms after every time you eat, it's probably not just the food that you're eating. It could be stress, it could be, you know, residual inflammation, it could be a functional issue like a hiatal hernia. There's so many options. So I think sometimes people, if they have a symptom after eating that food, they exclude that food, and that can actually lead to more restriction and more symptoms and maybe even more anxiety. So yes, there are some foods that are more acidic. However, some people with acid reflux actually do better with acidic foods because they have low stomach acid. So I love the community that's building on these videos. It's so awesome to hear you guys talking with each other. But just because something doesn't work for you doesn't mean that it won't work for someone else. So just be mindful of commenting like eggs are so bad for reflux or this is so bad for reflux, because everyone is so different and what's true for you, again, may not be true for others. Another question, is spicy food a trigger for acid reflux? Spicy food is a commonly known trigger for acid reflux. Everyone though, again, has different triggers, like maybe alcohol really triggers you more than any type of food. But yes, in general, spicy can irritate acid reflux. So I personally avoid super spicy stuff generally. I like to flavor my foods with garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper is personally fine for me. I'll do like herb seasonings. And it really just depends how sensitive you are to spices. Maybe you can just add a little bit, or maybe you can skip it for now. Also, I've been seeing lots of questions about people's individual symptoms on my videos, and again, I am not a doctor, I'm not going to give medical advice, but people wondering, is a chronic cough related to acid reflux? Is throat soreness related? Is difficulty swallowing related? The answer is, to my knowledge, yes. So acid reflux can take different forms and cause different symptoms. Sometimes you don't feel any heartburn, sometimes you feel lots of heartburn, but in general, yes, a chronic cough can be related, throat soreness definitely can be related, and difficulty swallowing even can be a symptom of acid reflux. So if you're experiencing those symptoms, really important to reach out to your doctor for help. Another question is, did I have an endoscopy at any point? And yes, I did have an endoscopy. My GI doctor didn't really find anything out of the ordinary in my endoscopy other than some irritation. I would love to get another endoscopy done to see how, you know, my esophagus has healed. I haven't scheduled that, but I think I'm gonna try to do that. It can be tricky though with insurance and doctors. They don't really want to do any procedures that are not necessary. So I'm not sure if that's gonna happen, but I'm really going to try for it in the next few years just to make sure like everything is healing okay. I also get quite a few questions on how I take the herbs. Like, do I take the reflux herbs in the morning and at night, or just in the morning? And do I take them in a powder or a capsule? And I have full videos on how I take the herbs, and that is just how I took them. So I'm not an herbalist. I sort of just figured out what worked for me personally. And I did that for quite a long time, probably like 6 to 8 months, really strictly taking the herbs and weaning off my PPI with the help of my doctor though. He's a conventional GI doctor, and he did give me the okay to start weaning off my PPI, which you should always talk to your doctor before weaning off a PPI. But yeah, definitely check out those videos. I'll link them up here and down below, and I give like a full detailed explanation of how I utilize the herbs, which the ones that I currently use are slippery elm and licorice root, and they are really helpful if I'm having a little bit of irritation. I also have seen lots of food lists being commented. Food lists in terms of things that someone feels that they cannot eat, and I'm so sorry again that you're struggling. I know how hard it is, and that's why I make these videos, so people feel a little bit less alone. But definitely talk to a registered dietitian, because sometimes we can identify these triggers and they may not actually be triggers. It could be, you know, something else going on. So definitely talk to your doctor and get referred to a registered dietitian if you can. So coffee and caffeine can be big triggers for some people with reflux. Other people may have no issue with the caffeine, but personally I had to take out all caffeine from my diet, and it made a huge difference. That was so helpful for me. The question I get about coffee is a decaf coffee okay for acid reflux? And the answer is it depends. In my opinion, coffee is still sort of acidic. It's That may not bother you though. If acidic things don't bother you, then you might be fine. But for me personally, I'm good with decaf coffee. Like, it's the caffeine that actually really can bother my acid reflux, so I avoid it. But I do decaf. I usually have it with food though, because having food with an acidic beverage like coffee or wine is going to help buffer the impact on your GI system. So yes, so I am personally fine with decaf coffee. I love decaf coffee, like a decaf latte, but you definitely want to, you know, do what works for you. Celery juice. Okay, so celery juice has been a pretty big trend in the last few years with Medical Medium introducing it. And I just want to let you guys know that Medical Medium, although I really like that he's, you know, promoting a plant-forward diet, he doesn't have any training in nutrition and is not a doctor. So I would take everything that you hear from Medical Medium with a grain of salt. Everything that you hear on the internet with a grain of salt. And he sort of started this celery juice trend, and it has no research behind it in terms of like curing all these diseases that he says it does. So yeah, there is no magic pill. Celery juice, if you like it, right on. But if you are like struggling to get it down and you're really trying because you think that it's right for you, don't worry about it. So I actually tried it for a while, like months and months, and I saw no difference at all in my anything, in my skin, in my gut health. I just tried it to see like if it would work, or like if it really was this miracle thing that everyone said it was. For me personally, no. I know other people love celery juice. For me personally, didn't do anything. It's slightly acidic. It has antioxidants. So for someone that has low stomach acid, maybe that would help you. But if you are taking it and it's exacerbating your symptoms, I recommend just probably stopping it. But you know, you do you. Another food related question I get is about eggs. So a lot of people have been asking me, are eggs bad for reflux? I heard egg yolks were bad. I have not found any research to suggest that egg yolks are bad for acid reflux. Eggs are like a little multivitamin. Eggs have every single vitamin except vitamin C. So they are a really nutrient dense, high protein, high bioavailable protein food, meaning your body can absorb the protein. And a lot of people who are struggling with reflux are struggling to get in enough food and maybe losing weight. So I think that egg yolks are a really great food, but you know, if you think that they're causing you symptoms, that's different. Definitely talk to a registered dietitian to figure out, you know, if they are causing symptoms. But for me personally, eggs have never ever been a trigger, and I don't know of any research saying that eggs are a trigger for reflux. Also want to mention about the weight loss with acid reflux. So, you know, talk to your doctor if you are having unplanned weight loss regarding acid reflux. It's pretty common and can be really difficult to deal with, so reach out for help. But a few tips that I might utilize if I was struggling with unplanned weight loss would be, you know, small frequent meals, utilizing snacks, eating your high protein, higher calorie foods first if you tend to get full very easily. And having your fluids outside of your meals can help as well. So not drinking a ton of water during your meal, because that's gonna really fill you up. And so yeah, focusing on those nutrient dense, high protein, high calorie foods when you can. All right, so that's all for today. I really thank you guys for leaving your comments, leaving your thoughts and your insights on my videos. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for all your kind words and support. It really means the world when I get messages and comments from you guys thanking me for the content. It's so sweet of you to take your time to thank me, and thank you so much for subscribing and being here and supporting my channel. So if you have not already subscribed, be sure to subscribe down below, give this video a like because it really supports my channel. Share it with a friend that may be struggling with reflux, and wishing you all the best. And I hope that if you are struggling with reflux that you feel better soon, and wishing you all the best. So thanks again guys, and I'll see you at the next one.